Hello everyone. Today I would like to share, not a guide, but share my opinion on how to pick your first premium tank. This video, of course, for new and intermediate players. If you have a couple of tanks and you want to pick up your third one, this is a video for you just as well. I will tell you how to do it. You don't have to be absolute pro. How to choose a tank and how determine if the new tank that is being released currently is good or not. So let's get on to it. First of all, I want to tell that you have to pick a tank that is actually fun to play and that you enjoy playing. If you do not enjoy playing the tank, you will just play like 10 to 20 games and it's just a little, put it back in a garage and it will be just dust in there. So that's not a good way. You have to pick a good tank. You say like, well, you always go pick Defender, that's an OP tank, plenty of fun. And no, I will disagree with you. Defender, even though it is an OP tank, is actually very boring to play. I have it, and the gameplay there is very static, and it's very not fun. There are much more funner tanks to play. And then there's another category of tanks which are credit farmers, right? And we can pick Scorpion G, is probably one of the best credit farmers, but at the end of the day you can sit in those bushes and just not even fire a single shot. And how much fun is that, So you have to mediate and pick a tank that is actually doing everything well, just not, to the maximum extent, and the tank actually doesn't suck. By tank not sucking, I mean the tank should, you don't want to buy a tank that looks good and as the stats show that it's a decent tank, but then when you buy it, you buy poop. Something like that happened with me when I bought CDC. Everyone on forums said CDC is a good tank, like blah blah blah. It's a shitty tank. I'm sorry for those who got offended by that. But there are tanks like, why should I buy and play that CDC when I can get Progetto, the Italian tank, which plays better and does the job better, and I have to sweat it less. So here's a guide for you once again. I will throw in few tanks that I think are fun to play and are extremely strong and could be decent credit farmers. They are not OP to the extent of Defender, but they're strong. So first tank, I already mentioned, that's Progetto, Italian Progetto. It's a nice fast tank, good sniper. You can provide light with it, ice with it pretty much. Good damage, you can unroll its drum. Then we go with another one, which is Chrysler. Chrysler is a heavy tank, only downside that it has is a penetration, but even then you can manage to play it. Way more fun than Defender, trust me guys. And probably I would even say way more OP than Defender, but that's my personal opinion. Then another one, T44-100 is another fun tank to play. I believe, in my personal opinion, T44-100 is a little bit inferior to Progetto, so if you can get your hands on Progetto, that's a good one. Another fun tank right now to play after buff is Type 59, if you were a lucky owner of that one, or maybe you will get one if Wargaming will decide to raffle it once again this new year in loot boxes. So I will be happy for you. Type 59 right now, I have it here to show, but it's really foreshadows T54 mode 1 pretty much right now, and the statistic where it's kind of bad, and they're really not that bad, and you just never see tier 10, so there's nothing better than Type 59 in my opinion. I mean, T54 mode 1 just loses, but that we will get to. I got them here just for comparison reasons, to show you statistics, not to tell that one tank is better than the other. Another one I would say, WZ111 is a good fun heavy tank to play. And lastly, Black Bulldog. If you ever want some experience with light tank, that's another fun tank that you don't want to put in a garage for a long time. Okay, now let's get to actually picking a tank. I got you to this site, tanks.gg. If you never knew it, here you go, it's here for you. If you knew it, well, welcome back. know how to use it. So now let's go and get a point what stats matter. DPM matters. The reason I actually got to this website is because that in-game client the hidden statistics are not shown, and usually Wargaming trying to push a shitty sale, as a shitty tank, and you know, it shows you good statistics, but when you look through, you know, its hidden statistics, the tank is actually bad and you don't want it anymore. And I am looking at you, IS-7. Yeah, it tells the tank is supposed to be very, very fast, but when you look at the hidden statistics, the ground resistance, the tank is actually slow as a turtle. So yes, back to statistics. DPM is one that will tell you about how much the damage you will do. It will tell you all you need. Pretty much for tier 8 premium tank like this are mediums, you are going to look about around 2000 damage, 2000 DPM. That will be a healthy number. Anything below that is going to be like really falling back, you know, quite bad. Like Luva is actually on a bad side because of that. It's what is it, 1600 I believe. Or you can get another one which is 2000, like 300, 400, which is going to be clearly good. Penetration is another thing that you look at. Try to get a tank with penetration of 200. Anything below 200 will be harder to play for you. Type 59 here compensates, that's above penetration already. It compensates because it never sees tier 10s, so it's easier to use and maneuver now. Maneuver your shots, that is. Alpha damage, which are 250, is not so important simply because usually if it's high, you will have like a lower reload time. If it's low, you will have a faster reload time. It's really reciprocal on all tanks, so it's like not much of a difference. DPM pretty much tells you if the tank is worthy or not altogether with those things. All you just really need to look at DPM and penetration. Now, another important one to look for is shell velocity. Over here, 900 is pretty much a healthy number. Anything below is extremely hard to aim. You have to aim like way further before, like, you know, foreseen where people will move. So 900 is like the rock bottom thing that you want for shell velocity. For that matter, Black Bulldog has even lower shell velocity, and I wouldn't so much recommend it for someone who is clearly new. But 900, yeah, anything higher than 900 is always best. 900 is like rock bottom that you want to look at. Now gun handling, and we are seeing here the hidden statistics. For a medium tank, I would say 0 like during movement, during tank traverse, and turret traverse. So we will discuss this too. During movement and tank traverse, for a medium tank, anything below 0.15 is good, including 0.15. Anything over that, like T54 mod 1 has it here, like it's bad. Like you will need to actually take time to aim. Here with lower statistic, you don't need to kind of, you know, slow down. You can pretty much shoot on the move almost. Turret tank, it's about the same. So like 112, 114, it's about the same for all the tanks except artillery, which is more, but you know, that's artillery, a very different type of game. Going back to defender has 0.22. That tank have to come to a complete stop, then aim, and it aims. Another thing is an aim time. It aims for 2.8 seconds with all the crap I got on it, right? And you have to sit and wait there for pretty much 3 seconds to be able to shoot, and it has a crazy bad dispersion. So yeah, that's why I don't really suggest, you know, it's a boring tank to play this defender, because all you have to do, just move in, kind of, you know, angle your armor, then make sure that you aim and you get shoot, and you just pray someone didn't spray you with gold before that. So yeah, aim time is another one you want to look at. Anything below 2.3 will be good, including 2.3. Dispersion, anything Like here, Type 59 doesn't have a perfect dispersion, but you can bring it down with equipment. Dispersions that you can bring down with equipment and Brothers in Arms perk, and it will be good if it's 0.35 and below. That's pretty much the numbers where you can actually try to snipe. You know, anything higher than that, you will not be able to snipe, and you will be, you know, you need to be like in a mid range, or maybe even up front to the person. Like Defender has, I believe, 0.42, and you have to really just be in front of a person to, you know, shoot them, the enemy tank. Depression, I mean, it's general. 7 is a healthy number. Anything like below 7 is like meh, but it never goes below 5. So 5 is like, you know, anything over 7 is extremely good, but you never see anything with like 10. So 7 is a healthy number. Now, one of the most important things, another thing how Wargaming is trying to sell us better tanks, you know, like a cat in a bag, for example. That's mobility stats. Okay, we understand how it moves forward. That's maximum speed, minimum like reverse speed, and power to weight ratio is what we have to look here. And here, anything below like 14 and lower is actually bad. Yes, then you have to look at terrain resistances. If terrain resistances are good, so for the hard and medium, it's supposed to be below 1, and for hard, preferably like 0.6 if you have like 14, you know, power to weight ratio. And soft terrain should be like below 2, anything is good. So yeah, so what they try to do, they show us either like high power to weight ratio, like 18 here, and then they show us a bad terrain resistance, like here T54 mod 1 has it. Sure, it kind of compensates with that power to weight ratio, but it's really not that great, except soft terrain. The hard and medium terrain is not that great. This is what happens with IS-7. You see a big number power to weight ratio, but then you look at the ground resistances, terrain resistances, and they are poop, and that's why you're slow and stuff like that. So that's a point to look for. Well, power to weight ratio, as I said, anything below 14 is quite bad, and you will need to look at terrain resistances. By the way, Super Persian got buffed, and even though it is lower than 14 power to weight ratio, it does feel so way better right now. That's a good tank right now to buy. And armor, of course, if you don't have any armor, you're a sniper tank. If you have some sort of armor, you have to pick like if it's an armored tank, like a medium, you have to make sure that your turret is like 200 something. But armor is pretty much the same, you know, for overall tanks. If they don't have armor, they're snipers. If they have armor, you know, they're kind of a brawler. So that's not much to talk about. So now you know the stats and where to look at them and how to pick them. You can go like where is it, IS-7? Oops. We can go and check on IS-7. Look at this gun handling on IS-7. It's a heavy tank, way better than T54 mod 1. And people who say, oh, T54 mod 1 is such a good tank, no, it's not. It's not anymore, unfortunately. I would not suggest you buy it. And here, look at that terrain resistance. Jesus Christ. And that power to weight ratio. That's what I was talking about. Look at this. This tank is not pulling up properly, you know. That's what they do. So yeah, you have to check those things. A good tank to compare, like on a good side for mobility, for turn rate, would be a Progetto. Progetto has a decent mobility, proper what do you call it, ground resistance, is a good gun handling. That's a tank you want to compare everything else that you buy to. And once again, look at this T54 mod 1, 0.19. That's a heavy tank. You know, not dispersion. What is it? You know, evolve dispersion pretty much on movement, right? So that's just not good, you know. Well, this is it for my guide. Check up the numbers, and you know, you can pick your own tank. Just don't fall you know, don't buy the tank like CDC, because all those forum trolls say that CDC is good. CDC is not good. You don't have to sweat for your own money 3 times more than you should. Well, this is it. Have a good day.